Welcome back to Excuse My Grandma. It's Kim and my co-host.
Grandma Gail.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, so fun to be together with the gobbles.
Yes. Are you going to have a chocolate turkey?
I hope so. I hope if Mom decorated the table, she usually puts out those turkeys, which is the first thing to go before we even start eating.
Yeah, we're recording this pre-Thanksgiving, so I don't actually know how she's planning on decorating the table.
Yeah, exactly. But she always does it beautifully. Something in orange and fall feeling leaves or orange flowers or something.
Right.
And definitely the turkeys.
I feel like the only time you or she even uses that is probably for Thanksgiving, that tablescape.
Well, yeah, I don't think it looks great in the summer. It's strictly a fall.
You had like a fall
thing.
dinner party, but I guess we don't.
Well, I'm having a fall dinner party, but it's
You're
not
borrow
going to be an
hers?
orange. It's not going to be an orange.
Okay. Where do you get that kind of stuff?
Well, you can go to any CVS and get the chocolate turkeys.
Oh, no, I meant like for if you're hosting a dinner party.
If I'm doing flowers,
oh, you just do flowers?
I just do flowers down
you
the
don't
length
do
of the table.
different plates and like.
Well, I have all the beautiful plates. I have beautiful white plates and gold and orange and all kinds of blues. So,
yeah.
I mix and match, and it's pretty. It's pretty, but not for the holidays. Holidays sort of is a orange theme.
Yeah.
Orange and white.
I only have my white plates from Amazon, but I guess if
you had a dinner party, I don't think your apartment setup now is all full of desks and computers. I don't think you're going to have too many people for a dinner party.
I guess I'd get stuff specific.
You'd have to get it specifically for that theme. You've done it for the Galentines.
Yeah, but we didn't eat dinner. Like I got paper plates.
All right. Okay, well, that could be cute.
Yes.
If you have a theme.
For Friendsgiving, I feel like that's probably unless you can either do it kind of a fancy way or you can just have paper plates.
I think it's just fine. Anyway, it's just being together. That's the whole point of these holidays.
What are you thankful for this year?
I'm thankful for being alive. Every day is a blessing.
Honestly, same.
It really is a blessing. But I'm hopeful that the world will come to a resolution of peace in the Ukraine and certainly in the Middle East. I'm praying for the hostage released by the new year. I'm really hoping that'll happen. I don't know. Maybe I'm being optimistic, but that's really my big hopes. And I really just want everyone to be happy and not try to kill one another. There's no reason for such hatred across lines, and I don't even understand it anymore.
Yeah. So you're thankful to be in a safe.
Well, America is the safest place that you can ever be, but I don't. I want the whole world to be safe, and I certainly want other people around the world to feel that they can, feel free to live in their homes without being attacked, or on the streets of Amsterdam without being pushed into the street or into the water because of religious belief. And hopefully, people will give to certain charities that serve hot meals that day,
or volunteer.
Exactly.
I'm gonna look into some opportunities as well, and if I find things, I'll post that for
and
people.
Definitely, I know on my way out to the Hamptons, I'm going to bring some more coats that I have sitting in my closet that I don't need, and I always bring them out there, and they disperse them to people who are cold and needy.
Yeah, and also if you don't, there's so many ways to research and find places around you, but even if not, you can think about your local like
church or synagogue where you can drop off things.
Yeah, but
our
even if
synagogue
there's
gets cans, you can bring anything over there, and people will take them, either eat them. They have a dinner there, or they take the food home to use.
But even if you don't have that, and there's no drop off, like the people who work in your building, the people who are work in your like favorite coffee shop or whatever, like they will either take it or have family members or friends who would take it. So yeah, and I am thankful for being with family, having my extended family all in one place on a daily basis, honestly, but also for Thanksgiving and the success we've had career-wise in the last few years, and continued, hopefully,
That's
good health.
Bonus. Exactly.
Good health also. Not every day is amazing, but in thinking about how lucky you are to even move your body and always feel grateful for that as well. What was Thanksgiving like for you growing up?
Well, it was very much the same as what it is today. I lived in a suburban area, so we used to come in as a family, and my cousins used to come in, and we used to go to our grandparents who lived in Manhattan, and we used to go to the parade, and we used to either go over to 72nd Street, where the beginning of the parade and the balloons even were then, and we'd watch the festivities, and then we'd have an early dinner at my grandparents, either one set or the other, that lived in Manhattan, and we'd have a wonderful time. And it was just, that was we thought that was a special treat to come into New York and do that. Or later on, when I had little children, I used to do the same thing. I took them to the parade, and sometimes it was cold and windy, and we dressed all up, and we came home and had hot chocolate, and it was just a day of no school, no work, and being together. I think that's the bottom line.
Yeah, I don't think I was taken as a kid to Macy's. I think we were to the parade. I think we were always in Florida growing up, because all my memories are in your house watching it on TV.
Well, that's much later on. No, that's in the 90s, right?
Yes,
when you were little, right? Exactly. We had by that time had moved to Florida. Well, it somehow, I must honestly say, though, in all truthfulness, Thanksgiving in Florida never seemed the same. The food was always delicious, but I think Thanksgiving has to be a little cool. You have to be able to put a hat and gloves and a scarf on, and really the leaves. The leaves have basically either changed or fallen off.
That other than, I think once I went to college, it was too hard to fly to Florida, and then we started doing it in New York more, but usually in restaurants, because we're all so sad.
It's very hard. Well, it's not a matter of bad. It's that it's a lot of people, and it's a lot of work. And the last few years we've been joining. None of us are great cooks, and so we have to put a little effort into this whole thing, and we do it. And it's not about the food, really. The food basically you'll get to the table and be quite good, but it's really about being together and exchanging what our activities have been in the last several months, mostly about school or about business or whatever, and looking forward to the winter season. So I think it's
I'm excited to. I said this last week or 2 weeks ago, but I'll be in a house also, because that feels Thanksgiving.
You like that. To me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where we are. It just being together. Because I think
it's like as you're saying with the
looking
leaves
outside,
and stuff.
looking outside. But except usually it's so cold by the time you sit down for dinner that in
dark.
your case, your father always lights a fire. At one time, the smoke went all over the house. It was a disaster. But it's fun. It really is fun to be.
I feel like there's been no disasters except for
No, I think the dogs last year, your dog and my son's dog had a little emotional thing over a ball. I think Millie was being selfish.
Millie's not used to being
sharing
in her own environment.
She doesn't share.
So she just got a little anxious.
I think the guest dog isn't getting invited this year.
Yeah, sorry, Max.
So bad.
But also didn't Uncle Jeff once burned the turkey blew up, or what was it? No, there was something. Oh, he left feathers on it.
Oh, that was we ordered it from a very fancy place. Mommy did it, and then your uncle said it's disgusting.
Oh, actually, yeah. What he does is the fried in the garage. He now fries it, deep fried.
Yeah,
is that what it's
and it
called?
comes out delicious. It comes out very juicy. I was skeptical the first year, but then it was really it is very good.
Mm-hmm. And I'm planning on going to the Macy's Day Parade this year, hopefully.
You are.
So, we've been wearing a lot of stuff from Macy's, and
which we love,
partnering with them, which is so fun.
Your red shoes are a big hit wherever you go.
My heels, which you guys will have seen in a video that we posted. I've been getting so many of my shoes.
Do you remember who those were from, Kim?
Those ones.
Well, you'll see it if you look.
I'll link it on our Instagram,
right?
So you can
because they're very cute, and she wore them with jeans. They look so cute. It was adorable.
Yeah. And they are gonna have for tomorrow a lot of Black Friday up to 70% off. So definitely.
Well, not everything, but a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe not the red shoes. I'm not sure.
Not sure, but I think there's big sales in most of the categories.
Oh, Macy's always does a great job, especially around Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
it's always
that's
a terrific store. It is a thing.
Yeah. I wonder who does Thanksgiving better.
Macy's.
No, then Macy's.
Oh,
obviously.
Who does it better where?
in general, like who does it better than Macy's? I don't think anybody.
I don't think anybody. I mean, first we have it on TV, so those people who
Right.
aren't don't go to the parade, which I am included in that because it's always usually a little nippy, but it's beautiful on television, and you see all the floats and the music, and it's a wonderful, wonderful day.
What company do you think like dominates Christmas time? If Macy's is Thanksgiving, what's Christmas?
I don't think anybody except Santa. And
Yeah.
Santa is an independent person.
He's an independent
He's
contractor.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody. I think everybody participates in the Christmas celebrations.
But I feel like I could think of, okay, like Valentine's Day, I feel like maybe Hallmark.
Yeah, well, that was their brand, correct?
Okay.
But now it's probably all
Halloween.
nobody. No, I
Like
think it's just how we've made the holidays more of about celebrating each individual one on its own, and Christmas is a time, I guess, of gifts and the tree and all that kind of things. And what about Hanukkah? Is the same thing, the 8 days of Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. I mean, everybody now has some kind of celebration, but everybody only has one Thanksgiving, so that's what makes it really nice.
Okay, let's move on to our news article.
Well, what about what the food is? You know what I've been noticing before you move on? That on Instagram, they've been advertising, and I'm thinking of getting it. It probably sold out already. One of these boards that you can order, and it comes with the cheese and all the different condiments,
like
nuts,
pre-made
and
cheese
and it looks and it has
lot
a
of people do
Thanksgiving,
that.
yeah, and for an hors d'oeuvre. I was thinking of getting that and bringing it out with me for Mom. I think they look really nice.
I mean, versus going to a cheese shop and.
No, I think this
asking
is
them to
much
do
easier
it.
because everything is pre-cut and it comes right to your door. It looks
Oh,
really
you mean
good.
like shipping it?
Yeah, I don't know. It looks really great. I'm going to have to look into that.
There's this company I'm just looking up to called Bordery.
That's the one I
Oh, it
saw.
is? Okay.
That's the one I saw.
ordered from them.
Oh, good. I didn't want to give them any
for-
free advertising, but it looks
I
so
know.
good.
Actually,
it looks,
I think my friend's friend started the company, but
Oh.
I ordered my Valentine's cheese board
Okay.
from there. They make it very pretty looking.
Yes, this is the one I saw today for Thanksgiving when I was scrolling a little bit. It looked really nice.
Yeah.
It's got the little turkeys carved in the cheese and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
It looked adorable.
Really cute.
Okay, that's the only thing that I thought maybe I would throw in differently for a change.
Yeah. I think that's a good plan. Okay, new study says you might already be late in preparing for Thanksgiving.
That's what I'm telling you. I think I might not be able to get the board.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to panic.
New research suggests you should start your Thanksgiving preparations more than 4 weeks in advance. A recent study of 100 Americans from each state investigated the best game plans when it comes to planning, cooking, and enjoying Thanksgiving, and they found that it takes upwards of 2 weeks of planning.
Well, that's true. Just ordering the food
Yeah.
is a major event, and then writing down what you need, from your pantry usually doesn't have all the condiments and all the stuff that you need to put on the table. And you really have to sit down and think about it. And it does take time and effort. This is not an easy job.
The
Restaurant is
longest-
getting better and better as far as I'm concerned.
No, but the longest prep time goes to Delaware, averaging 17 days of guest list planning and 19 days of menu building.
Well, why? Why is it so long? What's happening with the people in Delaware?
I don't know. They just are really
They're
into
slow.
Thanksgiving,
Oh,
or they're
why?
slow.
Well,
I don't
they're
know.
slow on ordering. Okay.
I don't know.
Come
They
on, Delaware, get moving.
put a lot of effort in.
We
I
have less
guess.
than, I think we're almost at that moment.
I would believe that New Yorkers are like probably low down on the list.
Yeah, I don't think we spend too much time worrying about it. But it takes at least a week. Nobody can do it in less than a week because a lot of things you have to order. A lot of the turkeys you have to pre-order, even from the market. You have to put your order in at some of the stores because they don't really have them.
It's also interesting that like we obviously have Thanksgiving every year and it's the same dishes every year, so it shouldn't be that hard. But 1/3 of Americans don't stick to the same turkey recipe
Right.
every year, and they
wanna
look for
try-
inspiration
yeah.
and cookbooks and online
Right.
and family recipes.
I think that's fun.
Yeah, I guess it's like, why not try something
Why not
new?
try something different?
Yeah.
Except in our group, if you deviate the slightest amount,
Everyone
there's
complains.
a whole uproar.
Yep.
I mean, you got to stick with what they like.
I find that the same with the Jewish holidays, that everyone's like, it was better from this place last year.
Right.
Or
We have the same discussion over the salmon every year.
yeah. I think we can discuss dating around Thanksgiving and the holidays.
Okay.
Should you bring someone home for the holidays? Is it a big no? Or
Well, I think it's fine if you're really actually a couple. I don't think it's fair to throw a casual date into a a group of your relatives that half the time you never know what's going to come out of their mouths.
Right.
I think it has to be a committed girlfriend or a boyfriend, and who understands that you never know what comes out of anybody's conversation.
I think that's a good point. Unless it's a case of like that person doesn't have somewhere to go.
Well,
it doesn't have to be a big deal.
Right.
If you don't want it to be. But
you could certainly invite any friends or people that you in your office or whatever who are alone. You hate to leave people alone on this kind of holiday.
Yeah.
So that I definitely wouldn't even hesitate.
But most of the time, I feel like if it's just an early relationship, if you're probably going to open it up to questions and
open it up to a breakup.
Yeah, potentially. But once you are in a committed relationship, especially if you're married, how are you deciding whose family to go to for Thanksgiving?
Well, I think, that you see, we were very lucky because we all lived in the same community, the same city. So we all shared it together, both sides, which was very fortunate. But if people live out of town, like my son's family, one year they would stay in New York, one year they would go out to Ohio.
Yeah.
I think you share. I mean, that's all about compromise. And if one family really likes it, one holiday more than the other, then maybe you divide it that way. Some people like to celebrate Christmas more than they like to celebrate Thanksgiving, so you can divide it up.
Yeah.
I think that's all about compromise and because everybody has a family, and maybe some everybody likes being with their own, and if it doesn't work together, because sometimes the numbers get way out of control.
Right.
The funniest comedian is who's the comedian that I just adore, the Italian gentleman
Sebastian
that you went to.
Maniscalco?
You're right, when he talks about holidays with his wife's Jewish family and his Italian family. I mean, he's just so on the thing. It's so different from family to family. So you have to figure that out. And I think compromise and sharing and switching it over from year to year is really the way to go.
Right. I think it would be nice to all combine, and that's all I've known, because every time someone married someone, we all just added them.
Well, we were very lucky because we all sort of liked each other and we really got along. But I think that's very unusual. I think that's very unusual. Mostly families don't get it all together on holidays. They have to go to one for one and one for the other. But you know what? If you're lucky and it works, it's terrific.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to some of the questions that our listeners wrote in specifically about Thanksgiving.
Okay.
One of them is, if you are going to your significant other's family's house, what is a good gift to bring? Host gift.
Well, a host gift. Depending if you've met them before, then you sort of know what their likes and dislikes are. But I would ask your boyfriend or girlfriend, do your parents like wine? Because then you can bring a couple of bottles of white and red wine, for cocktails or for dinner. I think if it's food, I think you would have to check with the family because, they're going to great lengths to preparing the meal. You can always bring and I've done this, bring a platter that's already made of nuts and fruits and candies for after dinner. And then usually the host will put it out in the living room or the den or their party room.
Any dessert is safe, I feel like.
Not a dessert that they have to serve. I think it's something like a beautiful box of special chocolates that you might have a store in your neighborhood that you love. So I think you have to be careful with that. I wouldn't get into the food, the entree, the appetizers, unless you know the family well and you say, I'll make my special string bean thing.
Yeah.
I think but for the first time meeting somebody, it sort of has to be a neutral gift.
What if
or
you're
even a pretty cookbook or a party book. A coffee table book is always nice. People love that.
I like coffee table book because I guess you don't have to bring something that you're going to be serving that night. Like you can bring cocktail napkins, right?
Yeah.
Or you don't like that idea?
Well, I don't think anybody wants to wash them anymore. Everybody uses paper ones. I mean,
What about
I still
the cute
have
paper napkins that like
have a funny
say funny
saying.
things on them?
Yeah, that's cute too. Or even just a bouquet of flowers.
Yeah,
I mean, that's always really nice. Come in with flowers and they'll put it in a vase and put it out.
Where would you have Thanksgiving dinner in Palm Beach?
Well, we've done it. You can. We happen to belong someplace where that has a Thanksgiving dinner, but St. Ambrose does it wonderfully. Outside, you can have it. They all have special menus.
Yeah, I feel like every restaurant.
Everybody
probably does
has
something.
it. Bricktop has a special menu. Beach A always has a special menu, and it's so pretty. If the weather permitting, you can sit out in the garden. Most of the places in Florida have outdoor spaces, and they have
True.
special menus for the evening.
I also feel like Palm Beach is such country club culture.
Well, it really is, but there's so many people who don't belong to a club. So I think the restaurants
Or if you're
do a
coming for
terrific
vacation
job.
or something.
Right. I think the restaurants do a terrific job down here,
Yeah.
as they, by the way, do in New York. I mean,
Oh, for
place,
sure. We've
right?
done it in New York, too.
I've loved it. I mean, I actually think it's the most easy, wonderful way to do it. But I have relatives in my family that like to cook, so they like to torture themselves.
I want to do a video about this, but someone said, what kind of outfit would you wear for Thanksgiving?
Depending where you are. I think if you're in the country like we're going to be, just a nice pair of jeans and a nice sweater are just perfectly fine.
Do you think some families like dress up even
absolutely,
if it's at home?
Absolutely.
But could you
I
imagine
think it's
if
getting
I was
less
in a
and
dress
less.
and heels and you guys were in like sweatpants?
But I don't think anybody should wear sweatpants. I
Okay.
really don't. I think that this is a holiday that people have spent a lot of time
Yeah.
over the table, fixing your table. I don't care if you're the most casual family. You can put a little bit of effort into your dressing. I don't think sloppy T-shirts and stuff like that need to be at a holiday dinner. But I think it can be casual. Everybody likes to be casual now. But if you're in a formal restaurant or at a country club or at a specific hotel that and requires sometimes a jacket, then you dress accordingly.
Right.
Everybody has a pretty little party dress with heels or a nice sport jacket. Nobody asks for a tie anymore, so the men all have jackets in their closet.
I feel like a little like mini skirt or leather skirt with like a sweater,
Absolutely.
high boots.
Yeah, anything that you think would be
Leather
just
pants.
cute. Leather pants, whatever that could be in the country. It looks nice.
Yeah, I'll have to figure out what I'm wearing myself. I don't know yet, but we'll put something together, I'm sure. How do you deal with family asking you about your relationship status at Thanksgiving?
Well, no one's asking me, so they must be asking you. I don't think people ask.
They definitely ask.
Your family asks, you think?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think people are definitely, especially the family members. I mean, we see each other so much, but I think for family members, you don't see that often, and they probably say, "Are you seeing anyone?"
Oh, well, that's just out of people should ask what your situation is, but I don't think they should ask that much. I mean, if it was really, really serious, there'd be a ring on your finger, and you wouldn't have to talk about it. I think they can say, "Are you still going out with that young man or a young lady?" And if you say yes, you can say, "Oh, I hope to meet him soon." I think you should keep it loosey-goosey. I don't think it's anybody's real business to ask too much.
Yeah, I'm dating around.
Exactly. Or I'm dating someone special.
I'm dating someone, we'll see how it goes.
Exactly. Hopefully next time you'll meet him.
But I think also this kind of applies to all stages, like friends who are in serious relationships where people say, when are you getting engaged? Then my friend said as soon as they got married, they go, okay, when are you having a baby? People always wanna, it comes out of curiosity, but
it's not mean-spirited, but people should really watch how they say it, because you never know the ins and outs of the relationships, and certainly not about when are you having a baby. I mean, that
what
I
if you
definitely
don't have
wouldn't
the
ask.
answer to that?
And sometimes you can't.
Right. So maybe you just
I
say
think
like we're.
No, I don't think you have to answer. Whenever the time comes, we'll see.
Yeah, and then if they press,
I don't think people press. I really don't. I think
knows?
everybody's grown up a little.
Hopefully. When should you accept an invite to celebrate with your boyfriend's family? Before or after engaged? Definitely before is okay, I think.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. I think if you like the young man or the girl and you've been dating a while, and your own family is not doing it. See, I think it's important. Thanksgiving and Christmas are family holidays, and usually you spend it with your family. I don't think I would be insulted if somebody said, I have to spend dinner with my family. Maybe I'll come over for coffee.
Yeah.
Or let's meet, maybe I'll come over for a cocktail. If you live in the,
because you're not going to not
close.
go to your own and go to theirs.
Yeah, I
unless
think that's uncomfortable. I think that's uncomfortable.
Weird.
It's sort of uncomfortable, but you certainly can say, you know what, I'm going to, maybe I'll come over for dessert. If you live close to each other.
Also,
if you don't live close to each other, there's no conversation. Then you'd have to say, no, I'm going to his or her family this year.
True.
And whatever.
I also feel like most people's Thanksgivings end at like 5 or 6 p.m.
Yeah, you can do. Some
you
people
can probably
do lunch.
both.
Some people do lunch. Late lunch. You can go and you can do after for dessert. Certainly at people's. I don't think people should get that hung up on all this stuff now. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, we're getting a little more relaxed even in that. But I don't know.
Yes.
We eat at 6 o'clock, so by 7:30, you could go somewhere else. You could have a whole evening.
Honestly, yeah. Someone said, what plans should I make for Thanksgiving if I'm alone?
If you're alone, I would treat myself to a nice restaurant, get dressed up, and go yourself and have dinner. If you don't have any friends in the area or nobody that
I feel like you're never the only one who's alone.
Not at all.
So there has to be a friend or a friend of a friend you could tag along.
Well, that I would hope that if you felt comfortable with a friend, say, I'm alone. Do you think I could come along? I feel badly for the person who goes to a strange city and doesn't know anybody or the strange town. But I wouldn't deprive myself of a nice meal. I would go, sit down, order a lovely Thanksgiving dinner and eat it and just enjoy the evening.
Any Thanksgiving traditions?
I don't have any except for my sweet potato casserole.
Yeah, and someone asked for the link. So we have a lot of more questions on here that may be better with pictures or with links on there. So
our pictures are usually not worth a link.
So definitely go on our Instagram stories. Right. We're going to answer a lot of these closer to Thanksgiving. Or I guess it's coming out on Thanksgiving, so we'll post some on the day of as well. There's so many. I can't really get through all of them. But last one, fresh or canned cranberry sauce?
Well, this has been an issue. I never thought of this. Mm-hmm. We used to, growing up, we had two. We had my aunt used to make them with oranges and fresh oranges and cranberries. And there was a whole group at the table that loved that. Then my side of the family loved the Ocean Spray cranberry sauce.
Okay.
I still like the can because that's sort of what I grew up with and loved.
It's nostalgic.
When it gets fresh, I get a little irritated.
Yeah.
I want to really feel like it's canned and that it's not fresh. So
I think I like fresh.
Well, see, that's it. So hopefully you put both on the table.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, thank you all for listening. I forgot to say, we're very grateful for all of you.
And we're hoping that you all have a wonderful, delicious Thanksgiving and peace on earth.
Oh, that's a really
that's a big
statement.
Request. That's a big request.
That's a big request, but let's aim toward that and at least make each other smile. Keep coming back to our page. We are really grateful for all of you. So remember, we're Excuse My Grandma on TikTok and Instagram, and you know where to get our podcast on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen. We'll see you soon.
Bye.